Hey, a really quick one for you guys, because there was an announcement today. Sir Brian Roche has been named as the new Public Services Commissioner. Sir Brian Roche has been named as a new Public Service Commissioner 13 months after Peter Hughes announced his retirement from the role. Sir Brian will begin his new role in November. He will serve for 2 years and 8 months until, well, whatever. In a statement, Prime Minister Christopher Luxon said, Sir Brian was a highly respected New Zealander who had held significant roles across the public and private sector. See, the reason we have questions around this, of course, is that we think about Lester Levy. And we think about these people that this national government is. So who is this guy? Who is he? He has a proven track record of leadership and delivering results, has a strong network in the public sector and business community. He understands how to manage properties, develop talent, and drive performance. It sounds all very business CEO-ish, doesn't it? This aligns with our government's focus on raising the performance of the public service so that New Zealanders get their services they deserve. Sir Brian, right, here's some of the history. Sir Brian was the inaugural chairman of both the Auckland Regional Transport Authority, okay, and the New Zealand Transport Authority, NZTA, okay. He has also held roles at Hawke's Bay's District Health Board. He was New Zealand's NZ Post Chief Executive for 7 years. He was recognised for his services to state and business with a Knights Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit in 2017. Most recently, he led a group set up by Labour New Zealand First Government in 2020 to support and improve the country's COVID-19 border security. Luxon also acknowledged the leadership of Heather Baggett today after she acted as Commissioner while the appointment process for a new Commissioner was underway. She has stepped into the role and done an admirable job, and I'd like to thank her for her calm, thoughtful leadership during this time. Now, the CV sounds okay, wouldn't you say, Chewy? It doesn't sound like it's massive warning bells. Seems like he is a seasoned public servant working under both National and working under Labour as well. There's really not a lot about him, but perhaps the highest recommendation we can give for him is prior to the election, Shane Jones was not a fan. So this is prior to the election.
That's a reasonably big tick.
Yeah, the role he had there,
big tick.
The role he had prior to the election, Sir Brian, Shane Jones called him a numpty for it. So that's got to be a positive in his camp. This is an old story, but it'll give you a bit more about the background about what this man's done.
Want to play?
No, we're not going to play bloody advert. What's going on? Look, I've got my ad. Oh, that's why, because my ad blocker's not on. Resume ad blocking. Sheesh, what's going on, people? Thank you. That's what we appreciate.
Disappointing, out of touch and full of numpties. That's how some Northland leaders are describing the Crown-owned company in charge of buying assets that'll eventually be offered to Ngāpuhi in a treaty settlement. Our Māori Affairs correspondent Te Aniwa Hanganui explains.
This kiwi fruit orchard near Whangārei could one day be owned by the country's largest iwi, Ngāpuhi. Crown-owned company Tupu Tonu has been purchasing assets like this for the tribe's future treaty settlement, so it doesn't miss out. A welcome idea that, in practice, has left some underwhelmed.
Tupu Tonu are more interested in buying boring old real estate or overpriced kiwi fruit farms and not investing strategically and transformationally.
They are appropriate.
Someone push him in the lake.
But they're very, very small investments.
Tupu Tonu's 5-member board, appointed by government ministers, has invested just under half of its $150 million budget so far into commercial property, a carbon forest, community housing and 3 kiwi fruit orchards.
It's fallen into the hands of numpties. They lack the skill.
So Shane Jones, not a fan. Not a fan. Big tick in my books.
They seem to be tone deaf and largely inept.
The company now has an opportunity to invest in a water storage reservoir
And then you got Dover Samuels. Seems like he is a fan.
Project near the Waitangi River. Northland's prone to severe droughts, and the Tai Tokedo Water Trust says it's a no-brainer.
I'm mind-boggled, quite frankly, about the reason why they haven't come to the fore.
In a statement, Tupu Tonu's chair, Sir Brian Roche, says he recognises the economic and environmental potential of the reservoir and no decisions have been made. He says the company actively engages with Ngāpuhi Hapu to understand their commercial aspirations.
But whether they're in tune with the psyche of the Hapu of Ngāpuhi, I'm not so sure.
If the board walks away from this, I'd say that there'd be a huge backlash.
Northland leaders unconvinced they'll be offered a settlement they actually want. Te Aniwa Hurihanga.
So he has a background. Like, I'm not saying that gives you the absolute clarity on who this guy with this very important role is, but, you know, he seems to be someone, Chewy, who's been involved in the public sector for a long time, has a relationship with iwi. I'm not saying he's God's gift in every area. And as I said, if Shane Jones says no, that's a big tick in my box for a yes. So we shall wait and see, I guess.
Nothing against. Look, I know nothing about this man apart from what you've just read, but I think the point here is we're at a stage where if Luxon comes out and says, "Hey, look, I've found this guy is really good and competent, and we're going to put him in charge of stuff," my alert status goes up.
Yeah, warning bells.
Like, I am not soothed. I am not happy to take it on face value.
Because what it will depend on is what is the memorandum of understanding between the government and this guy? What are the instructions he has been given? What are his targets and what should they be? Because if the targets are we need to find 20%, then whoever does that is going to be terrible no matter what their background.
Yeah, and like there's a couple of people in the chat just pointing out the view that as he's gone from organisation to organisation, he's left it worse than he's found it. So
do we know that?
Yeah.
Or we're just suggesting that? I'd have to go through the dates of that altogether. But I guess the thing
is, David,
it doesn't put it this way. It doesn't seem to be jobs for my mates, which that seems to have been a national. So there seems to be at least that part. You know, it's not a what's his name, Bill English. It's not a Paula Bennett. It's not these people like jobs for the boys and girl, but the mates. So there's that aspect of it, but we'll have to wait and see. When he was boss at NZ Post, what does it say? We went through restructure and jobs. Okay.
Were cut.
All right.
So yeah, he might be a hatchet man. He might not be. You know, NZTA, Auckland Transport haven't really covered themselves in glory. So yeah, look, it's hard to find hope in anything that comes out of Luxon's mouth. Is what I'm sort of underlining.